Supanova Week continues here at Trekzone today. We're looking back at that time when Sargent first dropped by to kick off the Talkin Trek mini-series. Looking at every series in the Star Trek franchise, this is going to build us all the way through to the Trekzone anthology, our next Star Trek fan film today. Lee and I sat down to chat about the original series.
Taking you back through the library of Trekzone on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. That time when.
Joining me is Lee Sargent. Lee, thank you so much for coming back and talking Trek with me.
Thank you very much for having me, Matt.
Now, today we're going to talk about the original series, where it all got started, this whole franchise. What's your earliest memory of this show?
The Corbomite maneuver. More specifically, the Baylock puppet. I'm not sure if the Baylock puppet had a name or not. I can't remember now. But I have very, very, very vivid memories of seeing that on, like, say, Saturday afternoon TV or something like that on the weekends as a kid, like as a very young child, because it's obviously a very a very kind of iconic image, and it certainly stands out. And I think it was in most of the credits for original series, so that's probably reinforced it whenever I would see the show. So my conscious memories of Star Trek as a child go way, way back to kind of early days of just being put in front of the TV, because I'm of a certain age where TV was okay to babysit and it wasn't going to do any damage to your child.
I think my earliest memories would be I would have to show my age here and say that it would be when I bought the DVDs and watched them. I'm sure I might have caught them on TV at some point, but definitely the DVDs and watching them in order.
Wow.
And just seeing the 60s screaming through.
Yeah, wow. I'm really... because I've had them on at least 2 different VHS copies, because there was you could sign up. So back in the early 90s, I'm going to say early 90s, you could actually sign up for a subscription kind of video of the month type of deal with them, and they would send you a tape with 2 episodes on it. And I collected the original series the first time that way. And then a couple of years, probably 97, 98, I'm thereabouts, maybe only 95, they released them all again, but I think they had 3 episodes per tape, and they had very, very cool covers. And I will admit that was the beginning of the completest having to upgrade thing that would happen throughout my life, unfortunately, with Star Trek. So yeah, I think I've owned like Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, about 5-6 times now through different formats. I didn't own the laser disc, which was good, but I have friends who had bought it. So yeah, wow. So DVD, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I feel so old.
Well, actually, I was just thinking there where you were talking about the VHSs. I did I was given as a birthday or a Christmas present, there was a box set of all of the pilot episodes.
I remember that. Box set.
I think yes. I still have it somewhere in the cupboard. It had the cage on it. So that would be the very first episode of the original series that I saw, ironically. And Jeffrey Hunter and Captain Pike and all those sort of characters, and just seeing the development, and then actually watching the DVDs and the special edition Blu-rays and seeing that the progression of that series.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the cage, because I remember watching the Menagerie Part 1 and 2, which of course is a splicing of the cage into an original series episode, and not knowing that, and because I was young and as a kid, and there was no internet, and so the only exposure, the only world you had of Star Trek was Star Trek and the novels. Like, there was no kind of, at that age, there was no kind of fanzines available to me and stuff like that. So I remember watching the Menagerie and just going, what is going on here? Like, not understanding why it felt like clearly there's an episode that's been spliced into this, but surely they didn't shoot an entire episode just to splice into this. And so I never really understood that as a kid until I think, one of the sets of, it may have even been that first set that I bought had the Cage remastered. I think it was the 25th anniversary that they did that. Where they kind of remastered it onto VHS and released it properly. And I don't think they had before that.
Are you watching us on YouTube? Click the link in the description to catch this interview in full now. Maybe you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app. Then beam over to our official watch page and click the link there. Keep up to date with Twitter. Catch new podcasts daily on YouTube. Plus, we're beaming to your favourite podcast app 5 days a week. Just search for Trekzone and subscribe.